Hey Scorpios, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Scorps, we have the trigger, the mother, and the father. Alithia and the animal. I mean, the mother is the idea of clinging to something and gaining your identity out of it. The father is the idea of being lifted up on a pedestal and being dropped flat on your face. And the warrior is just a lot of triggers. This energy is triggered. This energy feels like identities taken to extremes. This energy feels like, I don't know. And, you know, obviously men and women alike can experience this. I just, you know, like I'm a woman, so I'm a mother, and I've been a wife, and I've been a girlfriend, and I've been a friend and a daughter, and a, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, and I've experienced the many facets of that. You know what I mean? Like the relationship that I would have with one parent is not the relationship that I would have with another. Like the relationships that I have with some people in my life is nothing like a relationship I would have with other people in my life, because there's more involved than me. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I almost get this sense of like an identity that lifted you up and then dropped you flat on your face. And that doesn't have to be as a parent. That can be, you know, with work, with friends, with lovers, with, you know, family, however it plays out for you, you know. But I mean, like, if it's family, it doesn't have to be your parents. It could be your kids. It could be your cousins. It could be your siblings. You know what I mean? Like, whatever family drama any of us have encountered at any point in time, because we've all had it. You know what I mean? But it's just kind of like working through the triggers to figure out what it is that you're loyal to, because there is a truth to be discovered with it all, right? You know, there's a lot to uncover. And, you know, I feel like sometimes that takes a while before we can really make sense of it all, you know, like, I don't know. I just think of my mother, but like she, you know, like her master's is in composition and rhetoric. Well, you know, that makes sense, because rhetoric was always her weapon of choice. You know what I mean? And, you know, growing up, she would always tell me, your dad doesn't really love you. He's just here because of me. And, you know, like, just like, you can't meet your real father because you would ruin his family because he's already married and has kids. You know what I mean? Like everything that I was never, she did her best to ensure that I was completely isolated and alone in the world through rhetoric, you know, by taking, you know, like, because my dad was the one who sat down with me and made sure that I did my homework and made sure that I passed school when I was flunking out in elementary school, because I basically raised my mother was never there. And when she was there, it was to put me down and cackle at me. You know what I mean? But like, because of the strength of her rhetoric, I carried a lot of anger and resentment towards my father for a huge part of my life. And that's not to say that he's perfect and he's never done anything wrong, because nobody's perfect. And when you're constantly dealing with people who just want to make you out to be a villain, that's a burden to carry. But I didn't understand that as a child. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like there's this sense of like, not always understanding like what identity that you're holding on to and like why you're holding on to it, but knowing that there is a truth that you're loyal to discovering. Like you're like, I may not completely understand how it all went down or why it all went down, but I am going to understand this, you know, because it's important. Okay. Water signs. The 10 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Lovers, the 8 of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Strength, the Sun, and the Wands. Well, you know, again, I just feel like that sense of like, that didn't always make sense to me, you know, because manipulation is meant to be deceptive. It's not supposed to be right in your face, right? But it somehow manages to always be right in your face, but just like fly under the radar just enough where it's like, you could question that. You could spin that to make it look like you're not the bad guy. Oh, I just hear her evil, evil. But it's like, I don't know how you're dealing with it or who you're dealing with it from, but there is a sense of trying to like manipulate a situation and just be like, well, I could just make it sound like this, you know, or, you know, and I don't know if you're in that energy, if you're dealing with somebody in that energy, but like, there's a sense of uncovering it for what it is. And I don't know, maybe it's not that extreme. Maybe it's just one of those things where like you were doing it and you were like, how am I, you know, like, how am I affecting this with my words? How am I, you know what I mean? Like, how do I be loyal to the truth of this? You know, how do I make sure that I'm providing a safe environment with truth and, you know, like love and light and joy and strength? Because it takes a lot when you're dealing with manipulation to uncover the truth, because you also have to uncover motivation before you can have a motivation that would make sense for why someone would behave in that way. You know what I mean? Whew. Scorpio. Page of Wands, Three of Wands, Eight of Cups, Three of Swords, Four of Wands, Ace of Wands. So, I mean, I guess I want to start with this because I feel like there's just, again, that idea of like holding on to something because you're like this doesn't feel right, but I don't know how to make sense of it. You know what I mean? And until I think you uncover like a motivation of lack, however that plays out, a motivation of fear, a motivation of I need to take from you. It's like Entangled when the witch is like brushing her hair and making her sing, and she's keeping her there so she can steal her power so she can feed off of her, but she's not doing anything to help her grow or develop, you know? And I just feel like there's somebody that you're dealing with who's like, they're like, they are manipulative and they use their words to try and like brush stroke like the directions of people, you know, but they're not. I just feel like the sense of like, they're not actually very discreet in what they're doing, but that used to trigger you and make you mad because it's like, they're being blatant as fuck about like, how does nobody see this? But you had to uncover motivation. And I feel like once you uncover motivation, then you move forward in this direction that moves past this manipulation and into a healthy, secure environment and relationship that I mean, because everything here is fantastic. You've got the sun twice. You have strength and joy and family. You have community. You have new beginnings that come with a great sense of wealth and protection and love and partnership and abundance again. You know what I mean? There's just like, there's so much good here, but I feel like in order to get to that good, there's just a lot of like having to uncover the layers of like, where is this coming from and why is this coming from here? And how do I escape these extremes of like identity? You know what I mean? You just got to be smarter than them bitches. Which isn't hard for a Scorpio. All right. Ace of Cups, Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands, Six of Pentacles. Well, you know, you have the Six of Pentacles here, which is kind of that idea of like steal from Peter to give to Paul, which I feel like is more in alignment with, you know, like that manipulation and that lack and that like holding on to something that was like, that's some form of identity that like got taken to an extreme that like does not resonate. You know, but again, this idea of like something coming in that, or you going forward with message, I don't know, because I don't know how it'll resonate for y'all individually, but just like turning your back on manipulation and allowing yourself to stand in, you know, like this power, this light, this just like, I feel like you guys are emanating, you know, just like glowing right now. And I love that, but you're glowing with power. It's almost like somebody tried to trigger you and all they did was fuel your magic. What was in another read? I don't remember which one, a collective read, I feel like, but it's like you tried to set me up, and all you did was like you thought that was kryptonite, but that was some fucking gasoline to this fire. You know what I mean? And it gave me like a specific level of insight that allowed for me to like name it and tame it. Hey. All right, Scorpios, heard that. I hope this resonates. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if it does. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.